Aquarius Sun natives, happy solar return to you. I wish you many blessings as you move forward into this year, which is just the start of the dawning of the age of Aquarius and the radical change that you are going to bring to the collective consciousness. I'm so looking forward to diving into this read for you, where we're going to look at the wisdom of the Native American birth totem of Otter, which represents you, those born January 20th to February 18th on the medicine wheel. And I'm excited to just tell you a little bit about your birth totem, but I also have some important stuff to bring in right off the bat. First of all, I just want to say, Aquarius, you've been showing out so big on Broad Coven. The reads I put out for you, you have given them so much traction, and I just want to say thank you. I know I got a new batch of Aquarians in the mix here, so I just want to say welcome. I love Aquarius. Both my parents are Aquarians, and you know, they're from that age of Aquarius, the first time around in the 60s and the summer of love and all that. So I'm familiar with your archetype, and I just welcome you here and thank you for all the support you've been showing Broad Coven. I also just want to say a quick thank you to all of you who have brought me up to 1,000 subscribers. It was a long time getting here, especially because, you know, I'm kind of like doing things a little bit different. I'm doing things a little out of pocket and experimenting and growing. And hey, man, I'm learning a little bit from my Aquarian parents and trying to look at things in a new way, in a collective way, and sort of shaking things up a bit. And it's shaken me up inside. So it's been so wonderful and supportive to have that come on through, and just to know that there are some people who smell when I'm stepping in, and that you're backing me up and you're giving me that encouragement, because it's a lot. It's a lot to put yourself out here like this, and I'm just grateful to be building community with all of you. And it's so perfect on this day that I'm bringing in your solar return read, because Aquarius, Otter, birth totem, you are all about that collective mindset. You're humanitarian in nature. This is what your birth totem is known for. There's also a really essential piece that comes forward with the Aquarian Otter birth totem, in that you definitely think outside of the box. You think of new, innovative ways to move forward. A lot of times you're ahead of your time because you're associated with the element of air. And so air, even within the Native American birth totem, your element is air. And there's a lot about that that is intangible or hard for people to really understand or relate to, because sometimes they can't understand where you're heading. You know, you do tend to be ahead of the curve. You do tend to tap into the pulses of the changes that are up ahead, and you just ride that wind of change. And you're often the one who introduces these new concepts, and especially in the areas of networking and communication, the World Wide Web, and moving into more revolutionary, expansive types of thought. You refuse to fit in the mold. You're very much an individual, and you are leading this charge as we step into a whole new age that gets us away from where we've been, which is more thinking of the individual rather than thinking of the collective, and how we can all come together in a way that is sustainable and that supports everybody moving forward, not just a select few. Okay. And so I think that you're really bringing in some new concepts as we step into this age. 4:44 on the clock. You're going to help bring things into alignment. I think that you're leading the charge in a very powerful way. And it's interesting because your medicine came in for me a while ago, actually, very strongly back in 2020. I had a potent dream, and it's part of what kicked off the whole 4 jewels of the Tuatha De Danann journey that we've been questing for here on Broad Coven. And in my dream, I saw all of humanity standing on the edge of a shore, and the sea was before us, this big, wide open sea. And in order for us to really pass the test that was before us, we had to swim together as one great pod of humanity across this ocean to get to some distant land that we had no idea where we were going or how long it would take to get there. But we all had to enter into that ocean together. And the rule was no one could be left behind. We had to swim as one unit. And in my dream, we stepped into this water and we started to swim together. And as we entered the water, we found that, hey, you know, it's not as cold as we thought it would be. And it's a lot more enjoyable to be in here all together, swimming together than we thought it would be. And as we swam, Otter was weaving between us. And I didn't really think of it much at the time as being sort of symbolic of that dawning of the age of Aquarius, but I have a new understanding of it now. And I really recognize that that is the message of the dawning of the age of Aquarius, that we can no longer continue to do things as we've done them, that we can no longer leave some people out in the cold while others, you know, reach for greater heights and just sort of trample on everybody beneath them. We do have to start thinking collectively and sustainably, and how we can pull together and unify in the pursuit of that. It's like the 60s all over again. You know, the same challenges we were facing then are facing us now, only with a little bit more of a heightened sense of urgency. And what's wild is that Otter is very symbolic of medicine woman. So we know that with Otter medicine at the forefront, you being at the forefront for the next 20 years, that we're doing some really deep healing here. We're doing a lot of deep integration work. I do feel like shamanism, shamanic principles are just going to be coming forward more solidly in the collective consciousness. And really what it's about is getting back down to the roots of things, getting back down to this, you know, terra firma, what we stand on, and being really mindful of those resources, and being mindful of the way we tread on the earth, and being mindful of each other, and that we each have a place on this earth, and we move forward in a more empowered way when we move forward together. It's 8:08 on the clock when I said that. It's the angel number of being on the right track. Okay, so we know that unifying, coming together, looking for connecting points, ways that we can work together, that's what's going to get us ahead. 8:22 on the clock. That's what's a building block for manifestation for a future. And you're really leading this charge, Aquarius. So thank you for being willing to step into that position to show us the way of how we can look at things in a new way, get a different perspective that takes in a broader view. And I'm just really happy to have had that dream come in for me, because the dream gave me such a feeling of hope. And we were also happy there, you know, swimming together. It was just such a beautiful feeling. I remembered I was almost sad to wake up from it. I didn't want to wake up from that dream because of the feeling it left me. I actually woke up crying, not from sadness, but just from being so deeply moved and just feeling that love and that purity of that connection and that returning to source. Because while we all may have many different paths and we come from very diverse backgrounds and we each have our own experiences and our own truths, you know, our little T truth corresponding with our personal experience, the big T truth is that we're all in it together, and it doesn't matter what river you're flowing down, it all returns to the same source. And that's what really hit me in that dream. 9:44 on the clock. There's just so many building blocks coming in with you, Otter, and you are going to really help us build this future, and you're going to help us embrace more of a visionary spirit, to be willing to do things outside the box, to color outside the lines, to be okay with not getting it perfect, and maybe being a bit eccentric as we go about looking for new innovative ways to move forward. But I'm sure with you bringing that enthusiasm of inventiveness and inspiration forward to us, that really thinks of how we can all rise instead of just a select few. There's going to be so much momentum behind that. And I think now more than ever, people are really ready for it. And so I think we're entering a very exciting time. And I wanted to drop in first with you as I shuffle these cards. And I am going to do a solar return reading for you, where we're just going to see what your kind of like overarching theme is for this year, what's going to be coming into your life. This is specifically for Aquarius Sun natives, but I certainly feel that anybody in the collective can benefit from this read because it is the Aquarian age and these are long-term influences. So I imagine a lot of this will be playing out in the collective's life, and it will also give sort of a clue about the areas that are being called for expansion, you know, ways that we might need to sort of like break down the walls that confine us and, you know, go more free range. We're supposed to be free range humans at this time, not so penned in and not so stuck to the post, but willing to sort of like wander on that open road of the Fool and find our way as we go. Okay, so let's talk about the basics. Okay, some things that can bring you more in touch with your medicine in terms of the elementals. Your power stone is turquoise, and your power mineral is silver. So it can be kind of nice to get yourself an amulet, you know, or a piece of jewelry, or even just, you know, a chunk of turquoise, you know, that you carry in your pocket. This can help connect you with a bit of your medicine. It can be very clarifying and grounding for your energy. Your direction is north. The north winds are your power winds, also northeast. Your tree is the quaking aspen, and your plant ally is the fern. Your element is air, and you do tend to be ahead of the curve, you know. You are the messenger. You're the messenger for the collective right now. You're here to sort of like spread the news about the way forward, and you're leading that charge. And when we're looking at the element of air, it's like air can get things moving, man, right? I mean, and air is changeable. This says a lot about just your spirit, who you are, how you show up in the world. You know, some people may think you're flighty. It's not that you're flighty, it's just that you're a step ahead of the curve. So sometimes people think that you're doing things that are a little out of the ordinary or a little strange. Some people might not get them. It's because they can't see what you can see. They can't pick up the energy that you're picking up. You get it ahead of time. You get the inspiration ahead of time, and you sort of set the template that leads the charge. You show us ways that we need to, you know, go beyond the current framework of things and need to rebel against what's holding us back, which requires us to be a little bit daring and sometimes requires us to look like the Fool. You are associated with the Fool card. You're also associated with the Magician, okay? So you're a master alchemist, and sometimes, you know, you are the eccentric wizard, and people don't really get what you're doing, but it's sort of like the butterfly effect, you know, over time. Your steps, though you may be an individual and you may be the first one who's willing to wander into that wild wood, your momentum picks up, it spreads. You are part of the butterfly clan as well in Native American birth totem astrology. You tend to move like the wind, you know, you don't like to be penned in, you like to be free, you know, and you're free to be you, and you also allow other people to be free to be who they are too. You admire imaginativeness and having a sense of individuality, and you like to make room for everybody to be who they are. You help people feel very welcome in being who they are, and this is one of the ways that you best serve humanity, is you always allow others to have a place where they feel like they belong. And that sense of belonging is very important to you, especially because you tend to be someone who often has to go their own way or have the bravery to have that independent thought or that new perspective, that different way of looking at things and leading that charge. So this part is very much at the forefront with Aquarius, and that is the vision, you know, your ability to hold this vision. And it may be a vision that others aren't aware of, but they come to be aware of it through your bravery to step into it. And so thank you for being willing to really own your truth in that way and take those risks, because you're definitely setting the template for us moving forward over these next 20 years. You also have a lifetime spirit guide, and that is the Waboose, or the white buffalo. So this is sort of the spirit that moves you through this life. It's such a key for you to always practice gratitude, gratitude for blessings to be received, just knowing that all of life is working for you because you truly are blessed. White buffalo is very sacred medicine, and it is that medicine of understanding your connection to great spirit, and that you're always looked after, you're always provided, and being so tangibly aware of that, that you feel a deep connectedness with this. And especially in terms of the land, like, it is important for you to have contact with the land, especially Mother Earth. Mother Earth grounds you. Mother Earth grounds that father sky, you know, and there's that balancing point, you know, having that sense of balance is so important, especially when we look at the birth totem of Otter, because Otter deals with, as I said, the medicine woman, but it takes it a step further. It's showing that healing comes through the feminine with Otter. Otter is balancing the feminine quality against that masculine. Okay, so we can't have too much of one or the other. And this applies no matter if you are a man, a woman, fluid, it doesn't matter. Masculine principle, feminine principle. This is about bringing the feminine into balance, and you're really here to hold that peace. So in other words, you're here to teach people how to tap into that sensitivity and how to have the courage to open the heart and speak from this place of connectedness, and to do so in a way that really demonstrates that it's not a weakness or something to be shameful of, that it's actually a strength, it's an empowerment. And you're also here to teach about nurturing. And again, Mother Earth is where we really tap into that feminine receptivity. And it's also Mother Earth that provides the bounty that is to come through the blessing of the white buffalo. So this is just sort of a spirit that colors your entire life, this spirit of growing that garden of earthly delight so that it sustains everybody, and having an appreciation for the fulfillment of that vision, where there is that reality where everybody is taken care of, everybody is supported. There's more than enough to go around. You understand this truth, and you see it so strongly, and you believe in it so strongly, that you are such a key manifester for bringing this new reality into being. You're a way shower, and you can show all of us the way right now. So it's really a beautiful energy you're holding. And that being said, you are born within the moon of the rest and cleansing moon. So at this time, as you're preparing to lead the charge of this new energy that's being ushered in, make sure you honor that lunar cycle and give yourself time to rest and cleanse from the old energies of everything that's gone before, so that you can really step cleanly and clearly into the expansion that is up ahead. You're very welcoming, you know, and like I said before, you do create a real space of belonging for people. And so you're about to lead the charge in really opening people up to some new experiences, some new perspectives. I think you're also really open to engaging with new people. A lot of you are starting to shed some of your old social circle, your old crowd, your old lifestyle, and you're stepping into new arenas. There's a lot of new energy coming in for you, and I think it's just going to be really beautiful for you. I feel like just all this opening up, this blooming coming in for you. And I mean, it's that flower power, man. It is. It's that 60s energy, that summer of love energy coming back around the bend. And I do think this summer is going to be a summer of love for you. I mean, it's what I'm picking up initially with you. So let's just dive right in. I want to dive into your read and see what we got here. 2044 on the clock. You're coming into alignment with something this summer. It's going to really bring a lot of gifts into your life. I think you're going to feel so blessed up by spirit in regard to this. You might feel like there's a little special magic at play, that the angels are working for you to bring you into partnership with this. So yeah, look for the summer to be a really happy time for you. Okay, what is coming in, great spirit, for Otter this year? What does their solar return look like this year? What's it bringing into their life? What is coming into growth and expansion for Otter with this solar return, great spirit? What is coming in for Otter? What is in store for them? Okay. Well, right now I see where you're at is a place where you might be thinking like, oof, I don't want to have to make any more choices, because I feel like I made a choice back there and that choice went a little bit upside down. You know, you might be feeling like you made a wrong choice, or you wish you would have maybe thought something out a little bit more before jumping on a decision. But sometimes you need to go in reverse to get a different view, okay? You know how to think outside the box. Let's see what this is about. I feel like you moved out of a place of indecision, which is a good thing, okay? Nothing worse than staying stuck at the crossroads and not making a choice. You leaped in a particular direction that I think where you landed was not quite what you expected, so it was a little bit unsettling for you. Now you're kind of like, okay, I don't know. I'm kind of waiting on directive, boss. You're like, I'm tired, boss. Okay, you're tired, so use the benefit of that rest and cleansing moon and just sink in this lunar cycle. Give yourself a little bit of grace this lunar cycle leading up to that Virgo full moon on the 24th of February to find that balance. Yeah, I see like you are trying to find your balance, and you may have felt like, you were going to finally bring those ships in that you were hoping to see, but it might feel like you're two ships passing in the night. You might feel a little bit star-crossed. You might feel like it's rocking and rolling on the ocean of emotion, and you're just trying to balance things out. You're trying to find your balance. That piece about the earth is very essential for helping you really get grounded out and balancing out the feminine, the emotions, the receptivity, okay? It might really help you to work with tree pose in yoga, okay? This can be a really helpful exercise for kind of quieting the mind as well, all right? When the mind feels very busy and kind of acting like the wind, blustering about in all directions, it can be a very still center balancing point. And it can also bring in a spirit of humor. And this is also part of birth totem, okay? Otters are playful, they don't take anything too seriously. And that's what I love about tree pose in yoga, is that you have to have humor in tree pose, because initially when you first start working on it and you're balancing on one leg, you're kind of like wobbling all over the place. So it really requires you to get into that place of beginner's mind, and beginner's mind is what's needed when we're jumping into the new adventure, you're at a brand new adventure. It's your brand new, cycle kicking off with the solar return and the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's really about giving yourself some wiggle room. All right. It's okay to be human. It's okay to, be a bit wobbly as you get your sea legs. You set something in motion. You took a leap. It required daring. Some of you may be feeling it was foolish. You may be feeling a little bit like a fool. You may feel like now you're really trying to juggle a lot of stuff. And maybe you feel like, and now I'm just everybody's entertainment because I went and, I took this action, and people are looking at me a certain way, but it doesn't matter. You're meant to stand out, okay? And you're brave, and you followed your heart. You took a leap. You took a risk, all right? That means you're alive. Good for you. You're alive. Sometimes it's about taking the leap. It's not about the destination. It's all about taking that risk, and what we learn along the way opens us up to some new experience. Okay, you might not see the way your ships are going to come in right now, but I feel like if you get in touch with balance, finding that balance, and I feel like the two things that will really balance you out is making connection with the earth. And just for tree pose to come in, hey, maybe spend some time with the trees. Trees are really good at maintaining their balance no matter how the wind blows, no matter how things get rocking and rolling. They're nice and rooted and hunkered down, but they still know how to reach for that expansion. And when the winds of change come, they bend with it. They don't fight it. They don't resist. They go with the flow, right? So there's something for you to learn here. And I think that tree pose would be really beneficial. It'll help you kind of laugh at the stumbles, laugh at the places where it feels a little bit wobbly, get out of your head with it a little bit. And that's the thing. It'll get you out of your head, because when you're sitting there in tree pose, you can't be thinking. The more busy the mind gets, the more you wobble. So you have to reach this place, this real still, like kind of focused centering point. And I feel like that'll be a really beneficial pose for you to work with. You're trying to find your balance. Some of you may be also dealing not only with emotional fluctuations, but financial fluctuations. You're just trying to get a sense of stability. All right. But it has everything to do with some truth that you acted on. And I see here, look at this. Right behind this, look how it comes out. You got the lovers there now, upright and justice. All right. So this thing actually leads to balance. There could be a Libra as well in the main frame of this situation. I also feel like you are balancing out an important karmic cycle here. All right. And yeah, you took a bold action. You spoke a big truth. It's going to feel destabilizing at first. And there might even be a little ruckus caused because of it, okay? It might be a little, stirred up right now. But try to tap into the playfulness of this, okay? I think, show off your penchant for witty banter, okay? Have some good comebacks, Aquarius. I think at this point, you got to just sort of like own it. Own that you're a risk taker. That's who you are. You follow your heart. You go where the wind carries you. You're an agent of change. And yeah, you're a rebel. You're a rebel. You're a loner, Dottie. A rebel. Sometimes you are going to stand out like a sore thumb. You're meant to. You're not meant to fit in a box, right? You're 31 flavors. You're not vanilla. I don't know what to tell you. I do think it got you feeling alive again. I mean, it got your blood pumping, and you got to say something for that. You know what I'm saying? You can get to a place where things become too pablum, where you're living life in such a structured way and being dutiful and, checking off all the boxes, but you're just feeling like you're going through the motions. And, maybe that's really where the sense of lack was, right? And yeah, maybe you felt a little ostracized for your choices, or, you felt like it could have been about a choice you were making toward a certain person, Maybe you chose to stand by somebody's side, and that, made you, fall out with certain people. You had to kind of go your own way. You had to really own your actions. That's what I got. You made some really bold choice, and there might have been some fallout because it made other people uncomfortable, but that's not really your problem. We see that the choice that you made, it's a karmic balancing. It's based on your truth. You aligned with your truth. And sometimes the instability comes with that. But, every beautiful new beginning and everything of meaning, you know, first comes through a little disruption, a little upheaval, especially if you've just been maintaining the status quo for far too long. I mean, if you wouldn't have taken this leap, you couldn't have this beautiful new beginning, this Ace of Cups that's coming in, this love from above to fill your cup. You know, I feel like your direction is coming in the summertime. This new beginning is going to come in. You'll be glad you took this risk. And I feel like you really needed to do this. You needed this opportunity to pour into yourself. You know, you needed this opportunity to pour into yourself, to feel full of that spirit of enthusiasm again. All right. So it might look a little pear-shaped right now. That doesn't mean that's how things are going to turn out. So just, you know, keep an open mind. Okay. Trust. You acted on your truth. And as long as you act on your truth, nothing can go wrong. For those of you who are dealing with any kind of legal battle and it's been stressful, maybe it's also been hard on the pocketbook. You might be looking for something to be settled financially in a legal matter. I feel like truth is on your side. There's going to be a judgment in your favor with that. Okay, this might have been something that started to come in back in the winter time, the 2023. I think you're reaching a point of conclusion with this. Yeah, you'll definitely have something to celebrate here, especially if it has anything to do with a house. I think you really had to stick to your guns on this, all right? But there's some kind of alignment coming in here. We got the 7 of Wands to the 4 of Wands coming in with the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, all right? So again, there's something that's being balanced out karmically here. Some of you are dealing with ending an old relationship so you can head towards somebody that you really want to invest in and you want to have a future with. Maybe you really have a strong desire to come into union with someone new, but you are in the process of closing out an old relationship. I also feel like this is just you really knowing your worth and your sense of value and what's important to you. And so there's something about, I need to move away from what is no longer fulfilling me. And yes, I get it. A lot of upheaval may be caused because of this. There may not be people that agree with my choices and my decisions, but this is what feels right in my bones. And I got to trust what my soul is telling me. I have to trust my soul's directive. And I feel like though this may be a stressful karmic cycle that you're completing, it shows you making the wise investment in the end. Again, you're in this transitory period right now, so it's not settled yet. 33:17, okay? The manifestation will come. Help is on the way. Things are lining up to make this transition a little smoother for you. But I do feel like there's something you are closing up with the past. It does require you to be very honest. It does require you to speak your truth. And I think where you're looking to make this investment, it has a beautiful, you know, outcome. Here's two people celebrating, appreciating each other, coming into alignment with one another. It's not just a castle in the sky. All right. You brought it down to earth. 33:55 on the clock. Do you see? You do have help bringing this into being. The thing is you're experiencing the disruption of the closing of the old cycle. And so that makes you believe that, oh, maybe I got something wrong back there because it didn't turn into this happily ever after right off the bat. No, I mean, it never does. Very rarely does it. It's nice when it does. Okay. But I see that when you get to the other side of this, you're going to be very grateful that you did what you did because there's this celebration here. Okay. You're coming into alignment in a spirit of celebration, and your choices will be appreciated, and you will be grateful that you took the risk to grow. You took the risk to go after something more. 34:44 on the clock. All right. There's blessing energy, alignment energy, master builder energy all over this. Look for a really wonderful outcome with another, coming into alignment with another, appreciating each other, giving each other your flowers, feeling a sense of like, we made it, you know, we made it. And there may be something to celebrate there. Some of you may even be celebrating a marriage, you know. You may be celebrating a marriage. I also feel like there's some celebration around home that comes. That for some of you, this is like moving into your dream home or having some big upgrade because of some success. Some success you had because you were willing to take a risk. You were willing to cut off with just like siphoning your life force energy, and you were willing to make a bold move that might have really shaked a lot of stuff up. I feel like you're still dealing with the, you know, reverberations of that. I think it really created a lot of change in your life, had you rocking and rolling. And during the rough bits, it's had you questioning, did I do the right thing? You did. I mean, it looks like it turns out really well for you. Give some more details. Let's see, you could be dealing with any earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be dealing with another air sign like yourself. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. You could be dealing with a Libra. You could be dealing with a Gemini. You got a couple Libra significators on the board here. All right. A couple Gemini significators on the board as well. All right. So let's see what we got coming in here for Otter for their solar return. Give us some more details about this celebration and what's in store for Otter as their solar return unfolds. Yeah, I think this is where you're at right now. You feel like you lost something. You feel like you lost the plot, you lost your way, you made the wrong choice. You feel like this wasn't successful. I really feel like this is your mindset right now. But it's because you're in that creative, cathartic process where you take the action and you sort of have to deal with the repercussions of how other people's views this, how it affects your stability, because now you're moving into that expansion, okay? So there's something here that you can't see yet. We see it comes into alignment, but it comes into alignment later. First, you have to get through this bit, okay? So let me see. What's the deal about what is being perceived as a loss here? I just heard some of you feel like the win went to a competitor. Okay, that's interesting. You think somebody else got the prize. Is this true? Is this true? What's really going on here for Aquarius? What does Aquarius need to see about what they perceive as a loss right now? Yeah, I mean, I really think this is where you're at right now. This is where you're at right now. You think it was foolish to take a risk, you know? I think you took a long time being in this position of like thinking it out, feeling it out, trying to be in a centering point. And then when all was said and done, you're like, see, I knew it. I should have just stayed in my safe little space. I shouldn't have taken this risk. Look at the mess I got myself into. I lost the plot, you know. You really feel like there's no hope in this situation. You think you made a big mess of things. That's where you're currently at. You feel like something is really just gotten out of control in a situation. It didn't turn out quite like you thought. You had a vision for it, but when you hatched the vision, it looks like it just made a big mess of things. And you're sort of regretting it. I mean, I feel this, that there's like a regret, like, why did I do that? Why didn't I should have just stayed. I should have just stayed in the position I was in. At least it wasn't, you know, this big ordeal. Okay. There's something you got to learn here, though, with the Page of Pentacles. It's a learning curve you're bumping up against, right? You can't see it yet. You need to have a little bit more patience here. All right, Otter, bring in a little spirit of playfulness here. You need to get a different view with the Hangman. Could be a Pisces in the mix, all right? There's happiness here, all right? You just don't see it yet. Right now, you're caught up in that tornado, all right? You're caught up in the tornado. It's taking you to the land of Oz. You're about to go on a big journey. You're heading down that yellow brick road. It's requiring a lot of you. You're in an unfamiliar land. Everything is brand new. You're not quite sure how it's going to turn out yet. You're getting caught up in what you're seeing instead of staying focused on your vision. This is the important part for you, Aquarius. You have to stay focused on your vision, which is that thing that gave you the enthusiasm to take the leap. Okay? Let's say it didn't work out with a particular person. Let's just table that for just a moment. Go deeper than that. What's one word that captures the essence of why you took that leap? All right. And then what's one word you can use to sort of sum up what you were rebelling against? You wanted to leap for a reason. You were rebelling against something. What were you rebelling against? Okay. It was 40-40 on the clock when I said that. This is like getting hindsight to get foresight in this situation. That's what I feel. So you can have a real clarity of vision. This is what you need to focus on. Focus on what made you take that leap from that old reality. You know, what were you jumping out of? And every time you start going to this defeatist mindset, let's say you were dealing with mediocrity before, you know, it's just pablum, one day after the next, the same old thing, not feeling alive, not feeling connected to your heart, just feeling like there's got to be something better than this. Okay, so every time you start beating yourself up for taking a bold action, just because it doesn't look like how you thought it would turn out yet, you just need to remind yourself, hey, I did what I did. I said what I said. I trusted my heart. I trusted where my soul directed me. I acted in alignment with my truth because I was moving out of mediocrity into aliveness, all right? Or whatever your two words are, all right? It's important because there is fulfillment here, all right? After the storm comes the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, dreams do come true. They do. But no good dream comes about without a quest. You know what I'm saying? You just opened up a new story. So you're going to need to remember your power. You're going to need to have a heart. You're going to need to use your brains. You're going to have a fair amount of courage and not fall for the okie doke. You have to have the awareness, you know, to look, you know, ahead at what could thwart you. Look ahead at those authority figures, you know, the people you've given that credibility in your life and their ability to control the show, just like Oz did behind that curtain. Okay, this is about pulling back that curtain, looking at things as they are, and doing what you need to do to wrench that fabric of mediocrity. I keep getting mediocrity with you. So I feel like you were rebelling against just feeling like an apathy that you no longer could tolerate anymore. You want to feel alive. You want to feel full of life. You want that celebration. You know, that's your true nature. And now you're just at the point where you're doing the work. Okay, and the work is always the toughest bit. Give Otter a little more guidance in regard to this. You know, bring in your power stones. You know, bring in your supportive medicines. You know, go connect with an aspen tree. You know, get some silver jewelry. Get a fern going in your home. You know, get a house plant and tend to it. You know, all these things, they help put you in touch with your medicines, and they can be supportive for you. All right. What else does Otter need to know about moving forward during their solar return? I mean, it looks like happiness up ahead for you, and the balance will be restored. You made a wise judgment. There is a balance in your favor with justice upright. But right now, you're regretting your leap. Yep, that's what I got. You know, you're regretting your leap. That's so funny that came up. So I just heard, if I could just do it over again, I would have leapt in a different direction. That's what I heard. 44:23 on the clock. Yep. You're realizing you had a different alignment than you thought. It's sort of like you played a little trick on yourself. It's a little bit of the coyote medicine coming in. You had to do that, though, don't you see? So you can see what you truly value, what you would truly bring into being. Don't worry. You got angels on the outfield. They're coming in and lend a helping hand, right? Something's coming in alignment here, all right? You're actually realizing that you really need to turn back around in a particular direction. There was something that you were going to leave behind. And then you started to realize as you headed in another direction that maybe you just had a little navigational, glitch there. All right. Yeah. And with the Emperor in reverse, it might have been a little bit of the ego gratification that was what was driving you forward here. Okay. You might have wanted some big gain, or something that just really, it more satisfied your pride and more satisfied your ego than it really fulfilled the heart. I feel like you're getting a different view here. You also could have been dealing with somebody who was very controlling, when you went in the direction you headed in, you were like, oh man, I feel even more controlled and confined in this situation, and I'm up against more than where I was before. Okay, so there is something here about the uses of power and something being really out of balance in this situation. But we know it turns out right. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, this has to do with, something that didn't go quite right with an Empress here, all right? So Empress energy, this can be Taurus energy, this can be Libra energy, this can be a mother, okay? Somebody that you viewed as your Empress, somebody you had a real sense of connection with, that you saw a future with, that you wanted to really build something with the 10 of Pentacles here in reverse. I do feel like this affected the home front. It rocked the stability at home in some way. In some way, you also didn't feel valued. Look at this. You both feel the same, though. There's two of you that are on the same page. Okay? Emperor and Empress both feel this. Like, wait a minute. Did we give up this? Did we give up this? Is it one of those cases where you don't know what you got until it's gone? You don't really realize what a gift something is until somebody devalues it, and then they realize, oh wait, I didn't realize what a special gift that was. I mean, I have to say some of this could have been very much motivated by just like instant gratification with an Ace of Wands in reverse to the 8 of Wands in reverse. I could see that, just being a little too spontaneous because being ruled by the passions and then realizing like, oof, that wasn't quite the right move to make there. Okay, I got that for some of you. It's not for all of you. All right, that's for some of you. That's playing out. That's what the sticking point is. You thought something was more meaningful or more heart-centered than it turned out to be. It actually ended up being more motivated by sort of like a conquest kind of thing, or an ego gratification or sexual gratification, right, coming through. There might have been more passion involved. It might have been done more for the sake of just feeling something again, feeling alive again, feeling young again, feeling your mojo again. But then it really rocked something that you had a lot invested in, and also that you really valued. And you're both feeling lost there. Maybe you both feel you lost yourselves along the way, okay? There's something here. Some of you, though, it's because you didn't actually follow through with your action, okay? You thought about it, you planned on it, and you're still sitting there at the crossroads in the hangman position, not using your fire. And so your fire is being internalized. It's making you feel very frustrated. But I feel like you're tired of being in this place where you're just like living up in your head with it. And if you have been dealing with a lot of this, having trouble sleeping at night, insomnia, anxiety, stress, it's because you got this fire inside of you and it's burning. You got this truth. It's like, okay, you may have taken some action, but in some way, midstream, you kind of like dropped the ball and you said, okay, I don't want to play, because you started to experience the upheaval. There wasn't the follow through. That's really important with fire. There's got to be the follow through, which requires that like real emotional investment, the nurturing of the vision, really seeing it through, even when it feels like a little sketchy, a little scary, all right? This is what you can't see. All right. You're going to be heading into this time of growth and fulfillment and really being glad that you took the leap, really being glad that you invested in yourself in this way. And any kind of loss you had as a result, it will be replaced by growth. And this growth doesn't just occur, emotionally or spiritually, but it's also a growth that takes root in your material reality, right? And it looks good on you. This growth looks good on you, man. So don't be scared of going for it. Let's do a cut of the deck here, see what we got. I mean, what did you do? You gave up this, or you're on the precipice of doing this. Some of you haven't done this yet. Some of you are being burdened by something that you're still keeping secret. It's something that's, kind of hidden right now. This may be what burdens you. You might be afraid that this comes out. Some of you have something that you really need to unload that's, it's coming up from the subconscious. It's like you can only stuff it down for so long. Eventually, you're going to have to face this if you want to heal and come into alignment with your purpose. And it was 51:11 on the clock when I went into that. This is the key that brings you into alignment, but it's burdensome because you're trying to hide something. You're trying to stuff down a part of who you are and what you really want. And that never works, all right? And as soon as you let down the burden, look what you find. You find the balance. You find the temperance. You alchemize that shit. You get beyond it. And then finally, you get the wings to head forward. And what does it bring? It brings you the fulfillment that you were seeking. All right? 9 of Cups here, man. I'm telling you, you only need to bring this thing to a close. All right? This feeling of, oh, the loss around it. And I feel like I made the wrong choice or did the wrong thing. When you aim for a target, you don't get to choose how the arrow gets there. There's a whole bunch of different elements in play that factor in whether or not that arrow hits the mark or how it hits the mark, all right? But what we see here is you got a turn of fortune coming your way, and it's coming in with the Chariot, all right? And so where you were feeling really down, really depressed, and this could be in relation to any fixed sign energy, a Leo, a Taurus, a Scorpio. I think it's really been impacting you very deeply. There's a lot you haven't understood. There's a lot you can't see. There's a lot that still remains a mystery to you, and you don't understand. Wait a minute, but I aligned with my truth. I acted on this, and why is it such a mess? But what you can't see is it's in the process of transforming right now, okay? And this energy is turning around. And where you felt this sense of disappointment, the reason why you feel disappointed is because you keep doubting yourself. You keep doubting the risk you took. You keep doubting that truth that you were once so certain of. And if you would just continue to turn around and face forward and follow it through, your alignment is coming in. Do look for news coming in around this with the Page of Wands, okay? It's the start. It's the start of getting the fires stoking again. It's the start of getting the enthusiasm brewing once more, okay? This message, this communication that's going to come in, it's going to really make you understand that you're not the only one invested in this, okay? There's mutual investment here. There's two here that want to see growth in a situation. And you're just going to need to really lean into your intuition when it comes to this. We got the Queen of Cups here, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I do see you really scrutinizing something. You could be really scrutinizing something with a water sign energy, could be with a mother as well, all right? You could be wondering, if it's wise to really let this person in, all right? Should you trust this individual? We do see the 9 of Wands here. So I see you're on your guard in this situation. I mean, there is an ending in this situation. We got the Death here, okay? Could be in relation to a Scorpio. All right, there's an ending here. There is some connection that's coming to an end so you can come into alignment with a true soulmate. That's what I got. And for some of you, that aren't inspired in a romantic direction, this is to come into partnership with somebody that is a soulmate on your path. You're supposed to create something together. This is the making of a dream. This is the making of the fulfillment that you first set in motion. You just can't see it yet, all right? So this is about trusting that initial leap you took, because it's taking you somewhere of real value. And I'm going to get you an oracle card to just sort of cap this off. I mean, it looks good. Stay with your initial decision. There's nothing worse than taking a leap and then like regretting it and trying to go back just to reestablish the same old thing that you had before. Why would you do that? Isn't that interesting, the way the lighting just changed? It's like it moved from being in the belly of the beast with the fires burning all around you to like a little bit different of a perspective, sort of a lightening of the energy. All right. You may have felt the fire for a while. I feel like that energy is lightening up for you. I really do. Okay. So overarching theme for Aquarius, stick it out, man. Things will look a lot different for you in the summer. You'll really have something to celebrate. You'll be happy. You're going to see the fulfillment you want. You got to let the ending really come about. I don't think it's wise to keep doubting your choices or doubting what your heart tells you, or, just sort of keeping yourself stuck in a place because it's what's familiar to you. You got to do what feels right. Cut of the deck energy. What we got here? We got a Halloween card. Ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. And there's that tree medicine showing up for you again. So again, I think there's a lot you can learn from trees right now. I also think maybe you're really feeling a deep connection with your ancestors, maybe even one that passed away not too long ago. I feel like within the past year, you may have lost somebody very dear to you. This person is really on your mind. I think this person is encouraging you. They're encouraging you to stick with it. Don't play it safe. You come from strong stock. Your ancestors were risk takers. What would they have done? What would they tell you to do right now? I feel like you have a very special connection with a particular ancestor that's really reminding you to stay rooted in your truth. There's growth that'll come from it. You got to trust. You're being supported right now. Yes, look at this. Telepathy of Terra Mater here. All right. You have clear vision. You have clear sight. And right now you're in the trust fall zone. Okay. Just because you can't see it manifest yet doesn't mean that reality is not there. Reality is always in the process of coming into being. So stay focused, because it won't be long before you see your heaven on earth. Summer's going to sizzle for you. Have fun. Let your hair down. Go out and play, Otter, and then you'll be reminded of why you took that leap in the first place. It's not all so serious. It's a creative process, and you're here to lead that charge. You're moving into expansion and blessings to come.